India is a land of adventures, and this is I am not just saying in reference to the various demographies of our country, but also taking in mind of the metropolitan cities which has most of the dug holes and potholes. Thus, we see rise in the ADV category of mass market. However, that is just dominated by 200cc onwards to 350cc, which is very cluttered market, although the 450cc category is predominantly ruled by just one contender, which requires no name, is Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. Although that might not be the case anymore with the introduction of BMW F450 GS from the house of BMW Motorrad in India.
Drop, yo!
Yes, the bike has come to in India, being manufactured specially by TVS at their Hosur plant. So how is it? We are in the beautiful city of Goa, which is famous for their significant diversity of culture. And we have been riding this on these coastal roads. So here I am going to share my personal first ride experience with you in this video. So stay tuned. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel Carbike 360, make sure you do. Besides, if you haven't checked out our website for any car, bike or scooter related information, I would suggest you do it now. Now let's get started with the BMW F450 GS. Starting with the design, the BMW F450 GS mimics its higher displacement sibling R1300 GS in terms of body proportion. However, for a unique bit, it gets a different headlamp cluster which comes integrated from tank shroud, going all the way elongated downwards, acting as a beak as well, giving it a sporty and rugged appeal at the same time, moreover like a motorsport motorcycle. Also, there is a tinted windscreen which alongside this beak kind of shroud helps in increasing the aerodynamics of this motorcycle, quite helpful in increasing the fuel efficiency as well. You'll notice the fender and body materials, these are made up of a plastic to keep the motorcycle lightweight, although it is made up of a very sturdy and rugged material. The tank, it is a 14-liter tank which supports both E10 and E20 compliance of fuel. The seat height has a maximum height of 845 mm, so both the rider and pillion can seat very comfortably, and pillion can ride more than 100 km in a go for highway laps. The center gets a steel trellis frame which is very lightweight, but from the center is quite hard, sturdy, and a little weight is there into the metal portion, which keeps the motorcycle in command and sturdy at the same time. The exposed setup looks very prominent. The Akrapovic upswept exhaust also gives it a sporty appeal. The sporty appeal continues to the tail end, where the sleeker LED tail lamp comes, and there are two side blinkers which also comes in LED. However, similar to other GS or BMW Motorrad motorcycles, the indicator doesn't blink for LED tail lamp. It only blinks for hazard turn indicators and standard turn indicator, although it gets panic brake alerts. Similar goes the case with the front LED turn indicators as well. At the front you get 19 inch of block pattern tire, and rear you get 17 inches. The motorcycle looks more like a culminative model which is inspired from both the motorsports as well as adventure tourer category. In terms of electronics, it gets 6.5-inch colored TFT instrumentation, which unfortunately lacks navigation, which you can get added up additionally as part of accessory, although it does pops out Bluetooth connectivity for call alerts and message alerts. Apart from it, it also shows when you have to shift the gear for upshift and downshift, and how is your RPM calculated when you have to throttle it, open throttle or close it. All the information is being shown here. You also get 4 riding modes, which are Road, Rain, Enduro and Enduro Pro. All modes are reflected here. This TFT is controlled either via this dial scroller or through these switch gear buttons. As you can see, I can go into the settings and enable whatever the functions I need to see in this motorcycle. When my clutch is getting heated, When do I need to change it? When the ERC is engaged? Am I using the bidirectional quick shifter? Is the motorcycle about to stall? Engine heating? Every information is displayed in this 6.5-inch TFT instrumentation. You'll see you get ERC with this motorcycle, which I'll come into the performance section later. Apart from it, you'll see here you get heated grips, which is quite handy during the winters when you ride this motorcycle without your gloves on. Talking of the performance section, I would like to start with the clutch and gear levers. These both comes adjustable for your hand movement of comfortability. This motorcycle churns power from a 420cc parallel twin 8 valves, which means 4 valves per cylinder motor, which is manufactured by TVS and weighs only 46 kg. Although this produces power figures up to 48 bhp at 8750 rpm and torque figures up to 43 Newton meter, which redlines at 6750 rpm. The company says it can achieve 80% performance in only 3000 rpm, which is very impressive. The gear shifting is very smooth and comes for a 6-speed transmission, which comes mated to bidirectional quick shifter, which is calibrated to ERC. ERC is basically a centrifugal clutching system which gets activated at 2700 rpm. So automatically it gets clutched when you are maneuvering at lower speed. Using upshift or downshift for the bidirectional quick shifter, you don't need to use the clutch. It is similar to that of Honda E-clutch system, using centrifugal clutching system without the use of servo operated actuator. Also working as a semi-automatic transmission, and maybe you can say, since this motorcycle doesn't get a cruise control, it is an alternative to that as well. The performance figures of this motorcycle is similar to that of Crossfire Storm 500, although it does not serve on the aggressiveness similar to that. Instead, shares a torque bandwidth similar to CF Moto 450 MT, because it is designed to cater the A2 licensors, as I mentioned, which are the ones who want to switch from a 250cc to 300 or 350cc, so you can easily skip that or even the 400cc and directly hop onto this motorcycle. You will feel very confident. This is not an overpowered machine, but at the same time not underpowered as well. The bike features a crank degree of 135, whereas the other dual cylinders have at least 180 degree of crank minimum. Here the crank degree is kept short in order to keep the power to weight ratio balanced for faster acceleration rounds and slow maneuvers in traffic situations, with both the high speed to lower gear and low speed to higher gear combination regulating a smooth shifting experience. You can achieve a top speed up to 145 km per hour at Enduro mode, and the company claims at the Enduro Pro mode you have a claimed top speed of 165 km per hour, although you can easily cruise through 170 km per hour or beyond depending on the throttle response you put onto this motorcycle and the gear shifting patterns. The gear shifting, however, needs to be sorted because there is a time interval which comes in between. In any ADV, you expect such kind of shifting, especially when it's a big motorcycle above 350cc. I have cruised this motorcycle up to 90 to 120 km per hour, and I feel that is its sweet spot because you can easily cruise through any highway laps in that speed. You don't need to throttle above that. 150 km per hour is also too much with this motorcycle to accelerate. Although I would advise you not to go above 170 km per hour because that does come with a little vibration and wobble effect, and there is minimal heating issue with this motorcycle thanks to its variable liquid cooling mechanism. Talking of the mileage, you would be thinking such a dual cylinder motorcycle would not be producing much of fuel efficiency. Yes, that is true. On paper it does not, but trust me, for a dual cylinder motorcycle, the figures which come, ARAI figures, which is 26.3 kmpl, is quite reasonably good. Talking of real world figures, you can achieve up to 14 to 80 depending on the city traffic condition you ride, and even if you ride it in extreme conditions, the figures won't drop below 8 kmpl. The suspension setup of this motorcycle comes with adjustability for the front 43mm KYB featured USD forks or the rear 7-step preload monoshock, which can be adjusted for preload and compression. The front suspension has a travel of 180 mm, due to which it has a spot-on rebound and damping, which allows it to soak up the gravels and broken road in a way that the impact could not be transmitted to the rider. At the other hand, the monoshock with its accurate compression and preload coupled to its adjustable nature make sure that whether it is on or off tarmac, the undulations are avoided to best leaving neither rider nor pillion with any kind of discomfort. Furthermore, the off-roading character is taken care by dynamic traction control, which ensures that on a slippery surface, the power delivery to the rear wheels is minimized for the grip to be maintained by the 130 section block pattern tire, which again on sandy surfaces or rough edges acts to precision of gripping, maintaining friction even at higher speeds for stability all around. And since the rear tire has a circumference of 13 inch alongside a practical 178 kg of lightweight curve weight, the bike feels very rooted and planted on the hairpin turns, as well with the agile cornering stability. The lightweight body with larger centered position footpegs at a comfortable stretcher helps in saddling at higher speeds. The handlebar on the other hand is a wider aluminium 20-meter extendable riser unit depending on rider's height. Thus the hold is very comfortable and stretch is minimal, keeping in mind both the short and long rides, even on inclines. Besides, the 26.1 degree rake lets the turning radius be shorter and 1456 mm of wheelbase, which is shorter than Himalayan but on a suitable side as per ADVs, give a commanding ride experience on continuous highway journeys alongside the 220 mm of ground clearance that will assure of this bike being able to cross through any waterlogged streets with ease, highlighting to its trailing abilities as a GS. The braking is taken care by 4 radial calipers at front and single floating at rear, which in sync to the dynamic brake control and lean sensitive ABS Pro make sure that the bite is effective enough to halt the bike firmly at any speeds and prevent open throttles while the brakes are applied. Concluding with the verdict, should you consider this motorcycle or not? The F450 GS starts at a price point of 4.70 lakh ex-showroom, which goes further to 4.90 and ends to 5.30 lakh ex-showroom for the GS Trophy variant. The prices undoubtedly is way beyond Himalayan 450, but with the package of loaded electronics, the proper GS off-roading ability, uncompromised performance besides an A2 license focused ADV and host of customization accessory, and in that reference I think it is totally valuable in the price portion it comes. So with this I would like to conclude my first ride experience with the BMW Motorrad F450 GS. Did you like this video? Do let us know in the comments, and for more such interesting videos do follow and subscribe to Carbike 360.